Let that man do what he wants. Let him go on that boys' night. Let him go on that vacation. Let him do what he wants, because that will show you exactly the type of man he is.
Hey, what's up? Back with another video. Today's topic is going to be about men staying out late and letting their friends and family members control them. Now, I was just in a recent situationship, and it was just like, it was starting off so good. Like, you know, I had did a Lyft ride or whatever, and it was this guy. He was really young. He was in his 20s. I'm 30, in my 30s. So I would figure, you know, we could just be like business partners and stuff like that. So when things got, you know, rolling with us, he texted me the first day, and you know, I was just, you know, kind of excited. I was kind of waiting for his text at work, and I just, you know, we just bonded together, like, on the text and stuff, like, talked about our likes and dislikes and stuff like that. He told me he was interested in me, and I was already kind of interested in him a little bit, but he told me his age, and it kind of threw me off a little bit. But then he asked me how old I was. I was just like, oh, I'm in my 30s. I was like, oh, I'm still young or whatever. And I was like, oh, I'm 8 years younger, older than you. So we still talked or whatever. So he gets to asking me questions and stuff, and I'm telling him about my house before, you know, we started texting. I told him this, like, when I was giving him a ride. And during that time, we were texting later that day, you know, he just started asking me a bunch of questions, like what I need done in my house, and he wants to make me happy, he want to help out and all this other stuff. So I'm just like, oh, okay, well, that's cool, you know what I'm saying? And at first I was a little skeptical. I didn't really want to bring nobody new into my home. So he kept asking me, can he come over? And he was telling me about his house and situation and stuff, and how he was looking for a place, and his car needs to get fixed. So basically, I was just like, well, if you know, if we knew each other longer, I would let you stay with me, and until you get your house and situation figured out or whatever. Because we were basically like getting into like a talking stage, but there would be nights where he would just like ask me, like, oh, do I want to do DoorDash and stuff like that with him, because he needs the extra money. He works at a heating and cooling place, well, cleaning, like they clean air ducts and stuff like that. And I was just interested in that, because I'm like, okay, well, he's a working man, he likes to get his hands dirty, so that means I wouldn't have a problem with you know, getting stuff done, him helping get stuff done with me. But it was just kind of a red flag how every time we would try to meet up to do DoorDash, like he would you know, prompt me a text like, hey, we want to do DoorDash tonight together, and I'll be like, oh, cool, fine, yeah, I'll go, we can do it tonight. And then later that night when I call him or text him and say, are we still going? And he'll be like, oh, well, my tooth hurts, or I'm tired, could we do it tomorrow? And then he'll be like, oh, I had to go help my sister with this interview or something like that. I'm just like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. But after a while, like the third and fourth time he started doing it, he kept doing it. I'm just like, oh, well, I'm just not about to, you know, even give him the opportunity to ask me again. I'm just gonna tell him no next time, like, I'm good. Because basically what I would do is I would take my Lyft days off to save the energy to go do DoorDash with him for the night, because I feel more safer with somebody driving, you know, going to do gig work. So I was trying to try it out or whatever, but we never went. Then I would say last Saturday we hadn't seen each other. I was just like, oh, well, he was like, what you doing? I was like, nothing, He's like, what you doing tonight? And I was like, nothing, I'm just trying to see you for a couple minutes, you know, until you get tired or whatever. We don't have to do DoorDash. I was like, I'm a little tired tonight. I just want to see you for a couple minutes. So I get off work. I call him. He's just like, oh, well, he texts me. He's like, oh, well, I'm with my cousin right now. The music is loud. I got to call you back. So I'm just like, oh, okay. So I'm just, you know, like, kind of confused. Like, didn't I tell you that I was gonna call you and blow your phone up if you're not answering because you might be asleep? So come to find out, he's out with his cousin, and for some odd reason, this man's trying to kiss me. He's trying to have sex with me, be romantic with me, and stuff like that on certain days. And I know I'm just meeting this guy or whatever, but it's like, that's a red flag for me. Like, you already knew that I was trying to see you, or like we haven't seen each other. And anytime you ask to see me, I'm down. But then when it's time for me to see you, you're always doing something, or you was with your cousin tonight. So that just left a blank page for us. Like, so the morning he got back, it was like 4 in the morning. He texted me like, oh, okay, I'm back now. So I guess he kind of speculated that I was going to text him and be like, okay, well, what's up? Can we see each other real quick? But no, I just didn't text back. I went back to sleep. And from there, and I was just like, oh no, you know what I'm saying? This guy, he stays out. He blows up our plans for his family and friends and stuff like that. So I'm just like, well, no, I'm just going to stop talking to him. I'm going to cut him off because, for one, this is not the type of guy that I would want to have a real romantic relationship with, because it was never no sex or anything with us. It was just like, you know, we was cuddling and stuff like that. But I would never want to have a romantic relationship with a guy that lets his family and friends control him. Now, I'm not saying that I'm supposed to control him or anything like that, but it's a such thing as like getting your life together and getting your priorities together. If you claim you want to be in a relationship and want to be getting married soon, then why would you be out till 4 o'clock in the morning? Like, it's just no point, like, for me to even continue this relationship or whatever. So that morning I text him like around 10 in the morning. I was just like, oh, well, I was like, oh, that's good you made it back home safe or whatever, because I'm knowing all this stuff that's happening, especially in our city. We live in Detroit, so I was like, oh, that's good you made it back home safe. And then I sent another text. I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not really wanting to continue this situation we got going on, because I was like, you're not really fitting my romantic needs or whatever. And the reason why I said that is because every time, you know, he would say he's gonna come over or we're gonna do something together, he always say he's too tired or something. But when it comes down to your cousin wanting to go out, which is kind of weird to me, because you claim you're trying to save for a car and you're trying to move, so why would you want to be going out, you know what I'm saying, hanging out with somebody and spending money, and you trying to have somebody that could trust you, but you want to be out all night? Like, that just shows me what type of man you are, basically. Like, what type of, like, if I get pregnant, you're gonna be the type that let your cousin control you and mess up your whole relationship and be like, oh, well, I'm about to come get you, and it be like 12 o'clock at night. And I'm just not down with that. Like, I will wait. If it's not making me happy, I would rather be waiting, you know, or be single than to just settle for somebody that's still doing some childish activities. And to me, that is childish, because I've been in my Bible, you know what I'm saying? I haven't hung out. Like, I'm not saying that that's a good thing, but I've never been the type that hangs out. So with that being said, that's the type of person that I need in my circle. I don't want nobody hanging out till 4 o'clock in the morning. If I get pregnant or something like that, and you know your family want to come say, let's go out, you're gonna be out all night. And then I'm gonna have to worry about you possibly contracting something or STD or whatever, or talking to somebody else, or, and you know what I'm saying, I'm looking for a protector. If that's the case, I might as well have my gun license, you know what I'm saying? Well, I already have it, but I might as well just be single and have, you know, my real protection with me if you're gonna be going out to 4 in the morning. So yeah, I cut him off, and like, you know, he still texts me like, hey, are you okay, what are you doing? I'm just like, but I basically told him, I was like, well, I just want to break that off, and we're not going to continue this romantic relationship together, because you know, you're not fitting my needs, and you're he was just like, oh well, I was like, just don't think that. He was like, does that mean we can't make money together? I was like, well, that's, every time I try to make money with you, it's always an excuse. Like, I was like, you can't even do that, so it's no point for us to continue trying to be together or talk to each other, because you don't even, it's like, I just got your number. Just, I could, if that's the case, I could help a homeless person out if that's the case, you know what I'm saying? So he's just like, oh well. I was like, just don't be thinking that when me and you hook up or hang out, that we gonna be hugging and kissing and stuff like that. He was like, oh, hugs are nothing, but if you feel like that, and I don't want to lose you, I don't want us to break apart. And he was like, but it's your life. He was like, if you don't want good company around, and this is, and I'm like, what good company are you? Like, you're trying to sleep with me and we're not even married together. We're not even married yet. Then he goes on to say, well, I don't like to rush into things, and basically thinking that I'm trying to rush him into a relationship. I would say, I'm not trying to rush into a relationship either, because I wanted to see what type of guy you are. And I was like, that's the reason why I didn't let you have sleep with me, because I knew that it was something that was hidden that I wasn't gonna like. Like, if I would have slept with this guy, that would have been my whole, you know, sanity. Like, you go out stay until late at night, because like I said, the more you try to have sex with somebody, the more you're gonna want it. So the times that you're not around this person and they try to do something outside of what you got going on, you're gonna be feeling some type of way, especially if you're that type of person with those type of emotions. So he was just like, oh well, you know, whatever, it's your life. And I'm like, yeah, because no, you too young, you still in that childish stage. Like, how could you be trying to save up for a car, but it's like every other night you not, you know, you calling you want to go out with your cousin and stuff like that. So yeah, guys, I got some more videos.
A lot of people are going to get triggered by this, but if the person that you're dating is going to bars and clubs without you, they probably don't respect you or your relationship. And a lot of people will say, oh, that's so controlling, but it's not. Think about it. Why do people go to bars and clubs? So they can socialize and meet other people that they could potentially hook up with. If someone's really invested in you and your relationship, they wouldn't put themselves in an environment where other people are going to be hitting on them, flirting with them, or trying to hook up with them. And if someone you're dating is constantly trying to go out to bars and clubs and like do all these things without you, they're not done being single. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just important for you to be able to recognize that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you like these videos, don't forget to follow. Peace.
And in what world is it simpish behavior to say you want to hang out with the woman in which you want to spend the rest of your life with? You telling me you would rather hang out with these boys, your nigga, than your girl? The one that's gonna have your children? The one that got your back? The one that's supposed to be your best friend? This is the woman you go to sleep thinking about and you wake up thinking about, and you making me seem soft because I want to hang with her? You done lost your damn mind. You know, when I got with her, it's no longer me and her, it's us. It's we. You know, our pronouns changed when we got together. As a man, you are responsible for upholding your end of the bargain in the relationship emotionally. That means quality time. That means care and respect. I love my but I don't owe you no mother quality time. Ain't nothing soft about hanging with the woman in which you want to spend the rest of your life with. And you meaning to tell me you gonna be around some dudes that's gonna make it seem like you soft and you simping and you pandering because you want to hang out with your lady? Listen, for every guy that thinks that way, try loving a woman you actually like.
Again, one of my points that I really wanted to make regarding these videos is like, hence how the guy said, oh, well, I don't like to rush into things. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. It's like, okay, if you don't like to rush into things, I told him, I was like, I don't either. You know, that's why I didn't sleep with you. So basically, I needed to see what type of guy you were if you were going to be consistent enough for me to give you that time of day. And I'm just like, so how can you want to sleep with me the first few weeks when you want to rush to do that? And on top of that, this guy didn't even want to use a condom. Like, so you gonna rush to possibly catch an STD with the next girl, although you don't like to rush into things. Like, that's what I don't get. Like, I don't get. That's why I just feel like I just don't need to be with a guy. Like, I don't need to be in a relationship at all, because just make it make sense. Like, how can you want to rush to catch something? You're gonna be chasing depth, but you don't want to chase to get right, to be with one person. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying anything about that, because my whole time in the back of my mind, I'm just like, well, it is what it is. Like, I don't really want a relationship, but as time progressed, that's gonna be that. But it's the simple fact that this guy kept on trying to sleep with me every time we got together. Like, we would try to, like, go in my pants and stuff like that. And I'm just like, no. Like, I'm just like, back off. Like, no, you're not getting this stuff is too precious for you. Like, you're not about to just get me. Like, I to me, sex is just scary to me. Like, it's gross now. Like, I don't even want to have sex, let alone with a 25-year-old who don't have nothing straight in his life. And I'm not a materialistic person, but it's just like, this guy wanted me to take him to work. Not saying that he really needed me, but he wanted me to take him to work basically so he could save up money to get his car fixed. And I know it's a good thing to have like a partnership and stuff like that, but it's like, you can't even fulfill, you know, our relationship by even just spending a little quality time here and there. So it's like, why would I be waking up early, breaking my sleep to go take you to work, when you, everything that I've asked you to do, or you said you were going to do, like, you said you were going to cut my grass. I didn't ask you to do that. You said you were going to do this stuff, but then it's just always an excuse. So I had to turn myself around and do the same thing. Like, when it was time for me to take him to work one day, I told him, I said, oh, they changed my work schedule to morning, so I can't take you to work no more. You know what I'm saying? I flipped the script on him, because you're not about to do that to me, and then when I do it to you, you had something to say. You talk about the, oh, well, does that mean we have to stop talking? I'm like, dude, when you tell me excuses, do I ever say have any feedback for that? So why are you trying to check me about what I just told you about my work schedule? And that's a real big issue with people. Like, no matter how much I do for them or want to jump up and do stuff for them, when it comes time for me to get something, they never around. Like, this is men and women. So that's why I just, people call my phone, I don't even answer most of the time, because it's like, no, I'm not about to be your victim. I'm not about to be somebody that you could just call on like a magic wand. But then when it's something happen for me that don't happen for me right, and I need help, y'all not even around. But yeah, let's get back to these videos.
So this person writes, is this unacceptable or am I being unreasonable? I, 25 female, am 37 weeks pregnant. My boyfriend, 26 male, has gone out drinking every single weekend since I got pregnant. I set a boundary that since he is going to go out anyways, that I'd like for him to be home by 11 p.m. Most nights, he leaves to go out to the pub at 6 p.m. He has never respected this and always comes home after 2 a.m. Twice, he has not come home until after 4 p.m. the next day. And I found out that he went out to a house party with a girl that had been trying to get with him the weekend before. I rang him when he was at the house party, and he said there were no girls there. But I found out she was there, and I had been on the phone with him. While I had been on the phone with him, I feel like that was the death of our relationship for me, and I haven't felt any love for him since. And this was the week of Christmas. Am I being unreasonable, or is this something no pregnant woman should have to deal with? You're not being unreasonable, and this is nothing anyone should have to deal with. So Brene Brown defines a boundary as simply what's okay and what's not okay. The second part to a boundary is the implementation of a boundary. And what does that mean? In order to implement a boundary, you have to set clear results of what's going to happen if that boundary is not respected. So you've already set the parameters of what you need. You need him home at a certain time. You need him to be a present father once this baby comes. You need him to be your support system. So now that you've set that, you need to decide and make it very clear what you are willing to do if he doesn't step up and be the person that you deserve to have a relationship with.
Yeah, I feel like it's so good just to break a relationship up early, while you have the chance, instead of waiting until like you get married and stuff like that. Like once you see the first red flags that you don't like, and it can be petty, it's not no controlling thing, it's just a responsibility thing. Like you're gonna play around with me and be, going out all night to parties and club, but when I do it, it's a problem. Or you know what I'm saying? If I get pregnant, or something happened to you, while you out late at night, not saying that something can't happen when you're in the daytime or nothing like that, or when we're together, but it's like you're giving yourself more chances to encounter these mistakes. Like, so it's like you're gonna be, God forbid, my child would be fatherless if this man continued to pursue his actions that he's already doing. And I hate to ruin somebody's livelihood and stuff like that, but that's the thing. Like a lot of guys, they don't want to listen, and then you getting a phone call about something happened to them, or they ended up in jail, or you know what I'm saying, and they wonder why they don't have nothing in life and can't save up their money and complain about the economy. But you're going out every weekend. Like you going out every weekend, and it's like, don't you get it? Like I suffered my whole years fixing up my house by myself, and I understood, like, okay, if I do this, I'm not gonna have this. If I go out with this person, if I don't cut this person off, then I'm never gonna have nothing. Like I was going to my god sister's house every day, and I would be spending like $25 to $50 on gas to get there, and I would be having to feed my kids while I'm out there. So I had to stop talking to her, because I know I needed thousands of dollars to save up for my house. And this is the reason why I didn't go out and didn't do this type of stuff, because now I, potentially won't have to work after this year is over. Like I would not have to get a 9 to 5 again. So this is the reason why I'm trying to bring it to these men's attention. Like you want to do this and that, but you wonder why you don't have the income to fix your cars up and stuff like that. Like you don't have no income to move in an apartment because you're going out every weekend. Like make it make sense.
Now, I don't know who needs this friendly reminder on this Good Friday, but ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you that staying out all night is single people activities. So if you plan on having your ass in anybody's club, bar, or bowling alley till 2, 3 in the morning, please be prepared for it to be a problem when you get home. So don't get to acting confused when you get home and your woman or your man has a whole attitude because you've been out here partaking in all these single people activities. You need to pick a side and stay there. And another thing, that fake invitation inviting your spouse to tag along knowing that they can't make it or that they're not going to come when you really don't want them to is not going to work. And no, they do not care that you want to step out to celebrate somebody's birthday or promotion. You said something similar last week and the week before that. This is a reoccurring offense. So if you want to be single, just be single.
But I'm going to tell you one thing. The moment that a man does not give you clarity, The moment that he does not give you clarity, because I'm not going to throw this on him, it's your responsibility to ask for that clarity. And if he still does not give you that clarity when you ask for it, it's your responsibility to analyze yourself and realize when this person is stressing you out or making you anxious or creating confusion. And then it's your responsibility to walk away. Stop worrying about that damn right move. We don't give a shit about that. Worry about the fact that this man has already put you in a position to where you have been confused. And in any dating or relationship, there should never be a moment of confusion, because it's going to trigger your anxiety and it's going to make it worse for you. That's all I got for you, honey bun.
So how would a woman feel if her man was constantly going out to parties and clubs, either by himself or with his boys, but definitely not with her? It's most likely the same way us guys feel when the roles are reversed. Now, let me be clear. It's completely fine if either a guy or a girl in a relationship wants to go on a night out without their partner every once in a while, as long as there's a good reason for it. Whether that be a friend's birthday party or a special occasion, or just to enjoy time away from your significant other and with some friends. But just like the guys, if a girl has a boyfriend that always wants to go out partying without her, she'll naturally start to question, why does he want to do that? And for all the reasons I mentioned in my last video, it's just a bad look, and it will cause major insecurity, not only in her, but in the relationship. Just be honest, my guys. You know what happens at parties and clubs. You know one of the main reasons people go is for those potential romantic and sexual encounters. You know there's going to be attractive women there that could potentially tempt you to step out of line, and that all exacerbates if you have single or immoral friends that encourage you to let loose. And women are completely aware of this. That's why they're so adamantly against boys' night. Even if they pretend to be all naive and innocent when it comes to talking about girls' night out. The fact of the matter is, if you're in a committed relationship, you shouldn't want to expose yourself to the temptation and degeneracy of constantly going out partying, especially without your significant other.
Are you hungry? Oh. Maybe you should go to the kitchen and get yourself something to eat then, huh?
If a woman stay out all night, the relationship is over. Ladies, I don't ever recommend you staying out all night, because you're going to come home to an empty house. If a man stay out all night, the woman's going to get mad. She's going to say, where were y'all? And he's going to talk real loud and say that he was working to make money for the family. She's going to be mad for a few days. He's going to buy her some flowers. She's going to get over it, and they're going to move on. If a woman stay out all night, the relationship is over. What man is sitting up all night like this waiting for his woman to come home, and then she come home and he's like, so where were you? What man is putting up with that? And if it's happening to you, you're a bitch, period. He gonna say, wherever you at, stay there with that nigga. As a woman, you can't be staying out all night. You can't get up and go to the club and go here, and you ain't tell your man where you was going. He gonna say you for the streets. As a woman, you have to be upfront with your man. Your stuff has to check out. Your love is toxic. Oh. So yeah, guys, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have this problem with your significant other, or do you just let it fly? I feel like don't let it fly, because when something gets serious and you know what I'm saying, something happened, then them the days that man staying out late at night, and y'all just gonna crash our relationship by then. So it's like, you might as well just nip it in the bud. Like, if that man, you know, promise you something and don't keep it, that means that he's gonna be the type that promise you stuff when stuff gets serious and you really need him to come through, and he's gonna always have an excuse. So yeah, make sure you like, subscribe this, and comment on this video. Let me know your thoughts, and let me know, do you guys have this problem? Thank you. It's your girl Shani Slay. I'll be back soon.